Alrighty, you're looking at it right there. My name is Jason. I am with Signature Esports right here. We are broadcasting live from South Boston Speedway with the DSR Whelen Modified Series brought to you by Innovox Solutions. I am joined by Jake Elrod in the broadcast booth. New addition to the Signature Esports team right there. We're going to go down the grid real quick. Kind of a small grid today, but we're getting close to the end of this season. Chris Andretta is going to be your pole sitter, the number 25 outside. Caden Tufts in the number 2 is going to be your outside pole sitter. Donald Wooten in the number 1. Matt Levitt in the number 14. That lines out row 2 for you. George Jackson in the number 7. And Eric Schaefer in the number 3. That's row 3 for you. Row 4, Sean Corcoran in the number 43. Corey Doss in the number 12. And Ruben Altice, number 15. Stephen Witt, number 11. Row 6 for you is going to be Michael Newton in the 67, the 05 of Michael Newbrow. And I believe that's it. That is it. 12 drivers today. Pace car is off. We're going to go green flag racing right here from South Boston with the 25 of Wooten. Going to lead the track on the field right there. Mr. Jake Elrod, how are you today, my friend?
I'm doing good. I'm pleased that you're letting me do this with you tonight. Hopefully, This is my first time doing this, so hopefully I can help you out a little bit.
Oh well, you get to look at the field just the same as I do. Our race leader, Mr. Andretta, Chris Andretta, out there pulling a nice lead out over everybody. Everybody's kind of spread out there as well. We're going to turn the long relative on for these guys. Lap 3 completed of 125. Long race for everybody, but definitely tire wear is one of the big factors right here. Very short track. It's we actually pull that track info up real quick. It is a 0.37 mile track right here at South Boston. 4 turns, track elevation at 414 feet above sea level. We are at 80 degrees Fahrenheit. It is a cold night on the track right there for these guys. Anything that you see out there, you are more than welcome to shout it out.
All right. It looks like they're just single file riding right now for the most part.
Well, a little different than last time. Last time I believe we were at Iowa, I believe. I'd have to look it back up. I'm probably backwards on it, but lap 7 completed right now under green flag conditions, and it was kind of a caution day all day around. They had a long green flag run in the very beginning, but the field was tightly packed and did a great job of keeping things running. But still, lots of cautions can sometimes inhibit your driving experience.
He's trying to take that spot on the 17 right there. Or is that the 3 or is that the?
It looks like it right there on the inside. He's going to try to drive it down low.
Back a little bit.
And the 7's going to try to pass on the outside. The low line is usually the preferred line if you're out front. It's harder to pass on the inside to get that run, but the outside line seeming to fall apart for the 7 right there with the 3 giving himself a go. 7 getting turned right there, or turning himself, getting loose right there. So first caution is going to come out as we saw the fun things that never end. First caution of the day on lap 12.
How many resets did they have in this league?
I do not believe they have any. I think they have to go in and get fixed. That's what I remember before. So if they added them, it's news to me. So appreciate everybody out there watching with us. We are going to enjoy the day. I'm going to try to move some stuff over because I think we've got one of our relatives kind of off right there. All right, so your race leader, Chris Andretta, had a huge lead out front and is now being basically brought back to everybody. First car off the lead lap right now is going to be Stephen Witt. Corey Doss was on pit road and coming off to meet the rest of the traffic. So Chris Andretti is going to be your race leader. Donald Wooten's right there in second. Is going to start on the outside of Mr. Andretti, and Matt Lovett in the 14 machine, who's going to race in our tournament this weekend, is right there in third. He's going to restart on the inside. Caden Tufts is going to be in fourth, and Eric Schaefer, we saw right there, the 3 making some passes, doing a great job of getting around that 7 car after right before he spun out, and things were doing good justices for each person there. So first caution of the day, 5 laps is what our caution field runs through. As you see, the 25 right there. So other than broadcasting, I know that you had spoken to me about getting involved and doing all this. It's a little different with like the Whelen Modifieds and the Dirt Series because it's so compact and so tight. I know that you've gotten in the broadcast booth with me with other series before, and or I've interviewed you on in a series as well. And you see how the spread kind of takes away from what you see.
It does. Yeah, you can't see but so much, and then if you're too far out, you can't see nothing because you just can't see nothing. So
right.
It's definitely different seeing it from this side of racing, I guess you could say. Well, definitely can't see as much.
Well, we are back to green flag racing with the 25 getting a huge jump, running that inside line right there. You see him as we're going to take a look at the overhead coming across the backstretch, diving hard into turn 3 on the exit of turn 4. The relative right there, about 0.2 of a second off. Now, 0.2 of a second at South Boston looks like a mile.
Yeah, it does.
So we're going to look at the speeds for these guys as we're riding along with the race leader, the 25 of Chris Andretti, dropping down to about 80 miles an hour and then accelerating only to about 100, 105, and then right back into the brakes as soon as he hits the apex of the corner right there. So not a fast track, but definitely a track to be cautious at, as lap 21 is about to be completed. Under caution. The 3 and the 17 look to be making it interesting back there. There's the 14 right behind the 3. The 3 losing some ground, running that inside line. The 14 right on the tail of the 3, and it's going to run a little higher line. The 3 trying to maybe go around underneath the 17. Race length is 125 laps. 3 is going to make a pass on the inside. Doesn't get the pass right there, but definitely trying to, as caution comes back out, second caution of the day. Chris Andretti, still your race leader.
Where's that caution at?
That's what
I don't see anybody that has looked through everybody, and everybody's on the track. Somebody must got it.
Maybe it blinked out right there. I'm going to pull up the timing screen, and we're going to take a check in just a second. Some of the relatives are popping up on their own, like I don't want them to. Crazy. There is the timing screen for us right there. Get rid of that track information. There we go. Now it took a few seconds there. Let's go to the session events, and we're going to scroll down and we're going to see what happened there. Looks to be, we're going to see what happened here, as Ruben Ortiz hit pit road right there. I don't know what happened. There's the 3 right there. That's when the caution came out. Somebody blinked out a little bit. I'm not Not sure where that happened. But nonetheless, caution is out, and maybe we'll catch it back up with them here in a little bit and find out what happened there. It looks like everybody's on the track doing good things. Here's the 43 right there of Shane Corcoran, and catch back up with our race leader in just a second. As you see a long look at the backstretch into turn 3 and to turn 4. Let's see if we can dial up one of our guys right here. Mr. Andretta is not available. Mr. Wooten is, so we're going to talk to Mr. Wooten real quick before. Quite possibly. We may have to wait until the next one. That is one of Donald Wooten on the outside, and the 2 of Mr. Tufts going to restart third. Mr. Elrod, do you think you could ever get in one of these in one of these leagues right here?
I actually testing it before. I feel like it might actually be a cool league. You know, speeds aren't quite as fast as, you know, say other vehicles, and I feel like it might be a good learning process down here with these Whelen modifieds.
You see it right there, DSR Whelen
going on right here.
Yeah. Oh, on the back, I see it right there. You've got us both right here, the DSR Whelen modifieds.
The 20, maybe? Is it at 20?
Jason Followell, and it's supposed to be an ampersand, but that's a money sign. Apparently, your money, Jake Elrod. That's going to be your name. It's going to be your name from now on. The money, Jake Elrod, with me in the broadcast booth. Doing a great job. Looks like you're absolutely right. The 20 or the 12. We're going to go back and take a look. The session events are right up here.
Yeah, with the 12 of Corey Doss.
Mr. Corey Doss, the league, the guy who runs this thing. He's a good guy. Good guy to have on your team for sure. We're gonna do it the old-fashioned way. We're gonna back it up before the caution started. Quite possibly. And we're gonna.
Thank you. It'll be about an hour to heat the tank up.
Thank you very much.
Looks like Corey just started checking up, and he got spun, but the initial wreck was actually in front of Corey.
We're gonna take a look at the long look right there. It looks like it happened kind of right there at the restart. We'll get an overhead look at the blimp before we get going. As looks like the 5 kind of got up into the wall a little bit. 43 checked up in front of him. This is the restart as they were going green. Corey Doss kind of came back just a little bit. And it looks like the 1 got loose, and then just Corey kind of lost it there on the paint. So that's what brought out the caution, and that's what we're going to be looking at right now. Corey Doss back on the racetrack. Doesn't look like he did anything to his tires.
Just went for a spin.
And these things are easy to spin, especially you get down low enough. You're going to hit those. You're going to hit that paint, and these things are meant to grip on asphalt. They're not meant to grip on paint. Back to 2-wide racing. That's the other thing about this too, is that in this series, if they do back-to-backs, they do have single files in place just in case something is amiss. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, I was doing some testing before the race here, and it's got real good grip up on the track. But as soon as you get on that yellow, you're not in good shape.
Restarts are always in the favor of the guy restarting. I've noticed that with this series. That guy just hammers down on the gas, and he's going to pull ahead. Just the reaction time in these cars are kind of a little bit slow with the 25 of Andretta getting a huge lead out front. But that it says the 17, but that's the number 2 on your relative up there. Mr. Tufts is looked like he was gaining right there, but the 14 of Lovett. He's been a strong contender in this series. He's right on the tail of the 17. Doing a great job of keeping it safe. is a long overhead view of the 25 and the 17. There's the 14 in third place. That 3 of Schaefer in fourth. He's past the field. We'll follow along with him for just a second. Oh, and he gets turned just a little bit. Caution is out. If he kind of got into the wall right there, that little barrier, that concrete barrier. As we were on the overhead view, we didn't get to see the rest of it. He was making a move, and it looks like he got his tire stuck right there on that barrier. We can just as easy back that up. We'll see what happened right here. We're going to back everything up to see where he got stuck. He did right here. As they were coming around right there, it looks like he was coming up the track a little bit and just planted his driver's side tire right there, and it just made him come to a complete stop. Fun little ditty. That's what it does. All right, Andretta is there. Tufts is in second. Mr. Lovett's in third. The 3 of Schaefer doing a great job as well. He was on the move. I'm going to go over and take a look and see if we can get Schaefer in. No, we don't have Schaefer. We have, who do we want to talk to? We'll pull this guy in right here. Mr. Matt Lovett doing a great job, of course, and always working your way up to the front. I know that you're going to be restarting right behind that race leader right there. And so do you have anything for him? I know it's still early on, only 43 laps completed, or about to be complete. What's your game plan here?
I don't really have one. Just keep it on the track, I guess. It's really hard to pass here. I found that the high side is a little quicker getting off. If you run the high side, you can't pass. No one's going to be able to pass you below, but it's going to be a fun one for sure.
Well, South Boston is the track to go. Jake Elrod up here with me. Jake, you had any questions for the 14, being new to this series?
Good luck on this restart here, man. And looks like you got that. It looks like you're getting the high line working better than some others out there. So hopefully you can keep that working for you.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. Matt Levitt, the number 14 right there, currently sitting in third position, restarting behind the race leader of Chris Andretta. And take a look at this restart. You're going to watch it right here with the 25. You see how he just gets into the gas and gets that huge pull.
Himself.
And I kind of wish that people could do that at Daytona and stock cars. That's for sure.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so with that draft, that would be deadly. When that 50 caught you.
When they catch up to you and they pass you on the outside, yeah. Well, maybe the first 2 cars. Maybe the first 2 cars. That's what we're going to be looking for.
If you could get 2 or 3 out there, you'd be in good shape.
Absolutely.
Mixing things up right here.
In the middle of the third pack right there, there's the 14 on the inside. Caution back out one more time. We get about 4 or 5 laps, and then the caution comes out. I think that they do have the caution set to automatic caution. So, being that it's at South Boston, if you remember running it,
if you spin out,
anything you already considered a hazard. It's not like the mile and a half where you can spin out and put yourself off to the bottom. So. There it is, 13 cars out there, sorry. And the first car not on the lead lap is actually 5 laps down. Apologize about the blank screen there. George Jackson out of the Mid-South. He's 5 laps down. Donald Wooten on pit road. It looks like he must have gotten into some damage there, but real quick to go. George Jackson going around, and I almost said George Jetson. It's terrible. George Jackson going around to get a free pass lap back. And Donald Wooten still on pit road and about to become the first car 1 lap down. Stephen Witt in 11th. He's from New Jersey. He's going to be the number 11, so he's got the number. He's got the number for his position right now. 25, Chris Andretta, still your race leader. We'll take a look at your top 5 while we wait for this thing to go back to green flag. Chris Andretta is going to be your first place position. Mr. Tufts, Caden Tufts, is second. He's going to restart outside. Matt Levitt's going to restart on the inside. Sean Corcoran is going to be in that 43 machine. He's going to restart outside of him. Ruben Altis, a name we all know too well, is going to be restarting in that 15 machine in 5th on the inside. So I believe that we haven't reached that limit for the single file restart, but I could be wrong.
I was about to ask. I didn't know if they had just not gotten the 1 to green or if they were going single file here.
No, lights are still on the pace car. I believe we're getting ready to go. Lights off on the pace car right now. You're going to see him go double file right there. Yep. There we go. There's the 25 and the 17 out front, or the 2, according to your relatives. The 14 of Matt Lovett and the 43 of Sean Corcoran. And there's a 15 of Ruben Altis. Patrick Moore, who was in the back right there, started 13th, is now up to 6th. So anyone's race here, as we're going to see that 25 take off as soon as the pace. Yep, you saw it right there. I got a good overhead view. That blimp view is absolutely just amazing to watch the restarts at this place. But that 17, or the 2 of Tufts, whatever you want to call it, running that outside line, maybe taking a little advice from Matt Lovett. As Matt Light said, if you can make that outside line stick, it's going to do it. 43 of Corcoran. There's the 14 of Lovett trying to pass on the inside. You see that separation of 0.5 of a second going down the front stretch. The 14 trying to make it stick, but now about to be passed on the outside by Corcoran.
You can tell right there that high line is definitely quicker right now.
There are your 3 battling over 2nd, 3rd, and 4th position. But the 15 of Altis, he's there to make some moves. There is the 12 of Corey Doss back up in the scheme of things. And Eric Schaefer, the guy who spun out in number 3, that guy was dominant, working his way up the field, now trying to do the same thing again. Biggest mover of the race. Currently, right now, Ruben Altis, his flag comes out. Pacing is about to begin again. Lap 60 about to be completed under caution. Or lap 59 about to be completed under caution. Looks like Michael Newton got spun around just a little bit right there, as he resets himself for pit road. Say Michael Newton, but I might be wrong about that. It might be Michael Newbraw. We will see what happened. We're going to run it back. We're going to follow along with Mr. Newbraw and see what happened there. Good stuff out here. I love this series. It's one of my favorite. I like watching these cars drive because it's sometimes, you know, oh well, there's a lot of cautions, but at the same time, when you look at it, it's quick, it's fast paced, and it takes a lot to ride along with these drivers. Oh, that's what it was. You saw it right there. I've rewound like a VCR the 67 of Michael Newton. We're gonna ride along in the gearbox or the gyro cam, and we're gonna see what happens here. Looks like whenever he comes into the corner right here, I'm not sure, he does get a little bit loose, or if he had a little contact from the 50. Either way, the man, the myth, the legend, got into the wall right there, and it just stopped immediately as you see him on pit road getting some tire changes and some repairs. And we're going to catch back up with our race leader, and we're going to actually follow along with the race leader. Chris Andretta. We're gonna go with him on this restart, and you're gonna see how he takes off and how he drives this line. We'll put up the driver drop down for you, and you're gonna be able to see the speeds. Pace speed 35 miles an hour around South Boston. It's very, very tough to do in street stocks. That's for sure. Oh, so how's your day going, Mr. Elrod?
Going good. I just, like I said, this is my first time doing this, so I'm just kind of sitting back and
You get to
following lead.
You get to be my Larry Mack and look out look out for the back of me. The 25 out front, green flag racing back underway. You saw the jump, and you see how his tires. He's kind of barely turning the wheel. When he touches that yellow paint down there, he just skims across it and then tries to run a higher line as much as he can. And then on the exit, really trying to turn or counter steal that turn. He doesn't want to get into it too much, because if he does, he'll put that rear tire all the way around. Contrary to belief, people think that the paint is actually slick. Actually, it has more grip, and that's when those hot tires grab the paint, it actually will force it to turn, and that's what makes them spin out. Well, back, I apologize about that. Mr. Elrod, go ahead and call the race for just a little bit. And I know the cautions.
Okay.
I know the cautions back out. I actually have to go check on something. It might be very important, and I will be right back with you.
So it looks like the one of Donald Wooten just got loose and shot up the track.
That's okay. Real life sometimes gets in the way of broadcasting, which is absolutely fine. We thought we had a smoke detector going off in our house, so. False alarm, everybody. We're back. So, 25 of Chris Andretta out front. Elrod, are you still there, buddy?
Yeah, I'm still here. It looks like the one of Donald Wooten just got loose right there and shot up into some other cars.
Well, Mr. Wooten does go back and take a look. Pit stop on lap 70, so that was probably absolutely right. Let's go back, and looks like he had some engine damage there. Let's back it up here real quick and see if we can get a fast little replay of what was going on. It does. That's exactly what it looks like. We'll pause that right there for you. Take an overhead blimp view of what was going on. Mr. Elrod running my play-by-plays from the back. Love it. Absolutely great. See how he hit that paint whenever I said it sticks.
Just like you said, he got it. Shot him right up the track.
And it did. Took out the 38 with him, and a little reset, and he had to do some backing up right there. Donald Wooten, we're back to green flag conditions. Got to get that side-by-side stuff going on. 25 of Chris Andretta out front as we're waiting on action to continue. 76 laps, lap 76 underway right here from South Boston with the Whelen Modified. series brought to you by Innovox Solutions. Of course, and always, I always have my stuff turned up for them. We got to talk about Innovox Solutions because they are our headline sponsor for this series. There is the 25 of Andretti with Corcoran out front. Love it, trying to pass on the outside. Schaefer now moved up from 4th to 3rd. There's a good battle going on back there. We see those two racing each other. There is the 3 and the 14 and the 15 and the 17, aka the 2, working each other. Innovox Solutions is a developer and distributor of superior oxidative disinfecting solutions for both use in the home and workplace. Their goal is to provide products that quickly eliminate bacteria, viruses, mold, and mildew, odors, and allergens from environments that could be potential health threats without exposing users to harsh chemicals or harmful residues. To find out more about Innovox Solutions, go to innovoxsolutions.com. That's INNOVOX Solutions.com. Innovox Solutions, the primary sponsor of the Whelen Modified Series. You see the 15 of Ruben Altice trying to chase down the 2 of Tufts, as he looks to be a 17 machine going on right there. Catch back up with your race leader, Chris Andretti, out front. Race summary going on. 81 laps complete, 44 remaining. No lead changes, 7 cautions for 36 laps. Race leader of Chris Andretti. Guess I have to ask him if he is a relation to any of the Andrettas out there in the world. But that's Andretti, so let me take that back. Long look at the backstretch. You see the 25 coming around, hitting that long dog leg into turn 3. I heard it. There was a wreck. I heard it in my headphones.
Yeah. I did too.
There is the 25 of Chris Andretti. It was a nice little 20-lap sprint right there. It looks like the 38, as we're just going to straight back it up right here. We're going to click on that 38, and we're going to see what happened. There is the 30. It might be a little bit more than that. It looks like maybe the 12 of Mr. Doss got turned around again. Hey, come on. We're going too far. Hey, come on now. All right. There's the 12 of Corey Doss right on the tail of the 11, trying to pass him right there. Just a bump, and he's got the 7 right in between him as well. So the 11, 12, and the 7 working really hard. There's the 15 checking up just a little bit. There it was. The 12 of Corey Doss hits that paint and then hits the wall. And that's what caused that caution. And then the 05 gets involved, and it all breaks loose. So what happened? Lap 88 being completed under caution. Your race leader, take a guess. The guy who's been dominating the entire race, Mr. Chris Andretti on the 25. Shane Corcoran is now up to 2nd. Big old dog. My big old baby. My big old baby trying to protect the house. But the guy who had some issues earlier worked his way back up here. That's that 3 of Mr. Schaefer. That guy is on the move. You see, look at the backstretch right there. There's your race leader, Chris Andretti, in that 25. Pete and Elda's machine. The Midnight Moon 43 right there behind him. Fast little race. It's a little different than the speedways. So with the ARCA series that I know that you run with, and the truck series that you run with as well.
It's a lot different. I mean, there's hardly any similarities really. I mean, this you know, these cars are just so much different. There's hardly, you know, other than the simple basics of racing, it's completely different. There's no it's not near as much. I know when I was driving them, they're not near as much car to handle, you know, as those other cars. But
well, back under green, the 25 of Andretti does what he does best and takes an early lead. drops down in front of the 43 of Shane Corcoran. A little battle going on with that 17/2 of Tufts trying to pass on the outside. He's trying to pass that 3 and does so. The 3 of Schaefer doing a great job of working his way back to the front and now having to drive that thing like his life depended on it right there into the bottom of the corner out of the exit of turn 4 or out of the exit of turn 2 into turn 3. You're going to see these guys come around turn 4 onto the front straightaway. That high line working to the 2 of Tufts, or that 17 car, working to his advantage right there. Keeping the 3 of Schaefer down below. Cautions out one more time as looks like we had a car tank it again. And that's the thing about South Boston. When you run official races here, that wall is the death of everything because that wall is so close to the track.
It mows back out. Yeah, it's so close it causes issues all the time.
And you can see scuff marks all over that wall as these guys get into it. They go down and they try to run the line, and they try to run the closest line to the wall, and just getting your tires next to it and scuffing it because it's that hard concrete. Mm-hmm. It's porous, so they just grab. When they made this they made those Jersey barriers in here, I think they did it justice and made it almost as realistic as you could possibly get.
It looks like he thought he was clear right there though. Just came down on the 3.
Was that
the 17 or the two on relative, but the 17 on the screen.
Oh, Mr. Tufts.
But it looks like he just came down on the 3 there.
We'll go back and we'll take a look real quick as that was the replay right there. There we go.
The 3 could have came up a little.
I think we're all doing the clickaroo right here. Here's the 17 in the back right there. I'm going to see what happened. We're going to rewind just a little bit. I know that they had a really nice battle going on right there. And there it is. So we're going to pause it right here. We're going to watch it. We're going to come around to the overhead. As there's the 17 and the 3 right there. And the 3 and the 17. Looks like their tires touched right there. So
yeah, it almost looked like net code. It was so much
separation.
Not much at all.
Yeah, a lot of separation going on right there. Yep. I can agree with that because Schaefer didn't lose anything on that. He's up in 3rd again. So looks like their tires just net coated out. With 14 of Matt Lovett, he's right behind him again. And we're going to bring this thing back to live view off of that replay because we're back to 2 wide as you see your race leader right there, the 25 of Chris Andretta, doing a great job to get a jump on everybody. But I think people are starting to figure him out because he's not getting quite the lead that he was before. I mean, he's still pulling ahead, but these guys are staying within a good relative of him. Shane Corcoran on the outside of the 3 right there. As you see, those two starting to battle out. Matt Lovett using that high line. He said he liked it earlier when we talked to him.
Some tight racing going on right here in the back, or right here behind the leader.
43, 3, 14, and the 11 all trying to fight each other to get out to the front. Ruben Altiste up there in the mix in 6th place in that 15 car. There's the 3 trying to make a pass on the inside. Going to almost get to the front of the 14. That's who we're following along with right now. Trying to run that inside line just a little bit faster than everybody else. And doing so because he's pulling ahead of the 14. It might actually clear him on this next round. And now all he has to do is chase down the 43, who is chasing down the race leader of the 25 of Andretta. Doing a great job. Good, clean racing. I know cautions seem like there are plenty, but I do promise you they're quick cautions, and they are all from racing or this track just being a...
Oh, there's another one. I need to spun out. Right. Huh? Maybe not.
Still green flag. Whoa, a little bit of net code right there. The 3 kind of skipped on us just a little bit. I'm going to follow along with the 43 because We want to make sure we're not causing any issues for him. As the 3 bows out, there's the 43, Shane Corcoran with the 3 of Schaefer. Now 5 seconds off, it looks like. Matt Lovett now there to continue racing. No caution just yet. 107 of 25 being completed under green flag conditions. Catch back up with your race leader of the 25 of Chris Andretta. I see some smoke on the horizon right there, but I wonder if that has to do with just a car trying to run the low line to complete some laps. It is. It's the 3 of Eric Schaefer. Now back under caution we are. Going a lap down due to what was going on there. I do believe he got turned, or he turned around or hit the wall or something like that, but no caution came out. And that was about 5 laps ago, 4 laps ago.
Yeah, that's what I saw that on my. I was a little further back in the field, and that's what I was telling you. I saw it.
So we're gonna have to do some heck of a backing up here, as we're gonna follow along with the 3 of Andretta. There he is. I know he was
hit the inside wall there.
I know
on
he
my
was.
screen.
Yeah, I know that he was bouncing around just a little bit, and he had a good race going. We're gonna pause that right there, and we're gonna take an overhead view. He was fighting the 43 on the inside, and let's get a little bit of a play right there. And he's with the 43 and the 3 right there, trying to pass the 43. He kind of disappeared and pops up in front of the 14 a couple of times there. And then, and the 14 gets into the back of him. Spins him completely back around, and he's going straight. That's why there was no caution. And, I mean, it was like a complete flip. He did a complete 360 and then ended up going back forward. So no caution because of that. But slow traffic on the field, that will do it for you right there as well. Eric Schaefer being scored a 1 lap down currently. And we're going to go back to green flag racing here in just a moment, as we're going to catch back up with your race leader. And there's the 3. There is Andretta in the 25. Matt Lovett back up there in second position. There's the 3 getting an opportunity to get a wave around, so he's going to be back on the lead lap. Corey Doss, first car not on the lead lap, 2 laps down. Interesting race so far, because we've had a lot of good pushers up there up front, but nobody's really gotten to the back bumper of the 25.
No, he has. He's kept a good distance the whole night from everybody, for the most part.
Well,
see, he'll
he's
jump
going
out here again.
He does it right there with the 25. The 14 is going to be on the inside now.
Like the 14 just got a little bump there.
He said, "Move." That's what the Tufts said. Back to yellow though, as it's like somebody got moved around. Overhead look of the Raceway. Innovox Solutions brings you, of course, South Boston with the DSR Whelen Modified Solutions. Big Money Jake Elrod right here with yours truly, Jason Followell, with Signature Esports and, of course, this DSR Whelen Modified Series. We are on iRacing, and we're having a fun night right here. Broadcasting from virtual South Boston.
Big pile up right here on the back stretch.
I was waiting for my replay machine to catch back up. He didn't like it very much.
Looks like the 14 might have checked up or something real hard right there coming out of the corner exit.
We're going to take a look at what happened. Because there's the 14, Chris Andretta. Not Chris Andretta, sorry. That's
I love it.
Mr. Matt Lovett, yeah. And we're going to take a look at what happened there. There's the 25. He takes his big jump right here. It kind of slows everybody up right there just a little bit. He dives back down. And then the 14, or the 11 gets into the 14. And then go back to the 11 right there. Let's, we're going to back that up. We're going to ride along with the 11 to see what happened, because that will give us a little bit more detail, being as that it was Ruben Altice right behind him. We might actually just go ahead and ride along with Ruben Altice from the gyro cam. Click play right there. Here we go. Replay for you. As you see the 11 kind of get right into the 14, and then Mr. Altice had nowhere to go, and neither did everybody else behind them. Whoa, there we go. That was an interesting view. The 67 got flipped upside down inside pit lane. It was like a slam dunk issue going on there. Alrighty. Well, back to green flag. Oh, we are green flag going. There's Ruben Altice. We're going to catch up with the race leader. As I apologize about not getting back to that soon. We are 5 to go.
Lap car in front of him?
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like he does. There's
around him, no problem.
There's Chris Andretti as you're riding along with him right there. We're going to go over and see how Tufts tries to make it interesting with 4 to go. The 25 of Andretti out front by 0.5 of a second. Man, it looks like a country mile from 0.5 of a second. Eric Schaefer half a second behind the race leader in that number 3, but trying to dive hard down into the 2. All this counts for points towards the end of the season as we are back under caution. Big wreck in the back. I did see that. There is the 11 right there again. A little net code because the 25 almost got involved there. I'm going to take a look at what happened with the 11 right there.
It was actually the 3. He bumped the back of the 2 or the 17.
Take a look right here. Take a big pause. Take the 3 right here. And we'll ride along with him. Take a look. See, this is why I get you. It makes things a little bit faster. There they are. There's the 67. Three looks like he had a little bit of net issues. There's your lap traffic. The 67 right there out front. 25 diving low. There's the 3 right there behind the 14. We saw that he was making it interesting going around. He was catching up quite profusely fast. There's the 67 lap traffic as everybody's trying to go down low. On the exit, the 3, maybe the 67 gets into the 11 just a little bit right there. Nothing big. The 3 passing below the below the yellow line right there. Here is the 3 trying to go after. Oh, the 11 gets turned around. That's what happened back there. And then the caution comes out, and then the 2 gets spun right there, and then everybody wrecks as well. So lots of wrecking going on. There was 2 wrecks in that whole thing. There it is. Everybody gets turned around, and now things are really interesting because
took some people out from the front right here, I believe.
First attempt at a green-white checker as pace car comes around. 2 familiar faces to the industry, the 25 and the 15 out front. Showing Matt Lovett
Point leader.
He is your point leader. Yep.
Who is it?
Chris.
Matt?
I believe it's Andretti. I have to look up again. Here we go. Points and standings. Curtis Granger is the points leader, actually. Let me take that back. We're back to green flag. 25 and the 15. Ruben Altice right there as we are green flag conditions. There's the 25 of Andretti. The 7 looks like he's just a lap car. There's the 15 getting passed by the 43. 3 cars on the lead lap. That's Andretta, Altice, and Lovett back out there as well. So some lap traffic having to fight their way back. Final lap of the race. And it looks like the 25 of Andretta is going to be your race winner.
I believe he just led every lap, didn't he?
He did. One of the. We're going to take a look at his driver long right there. Your race winner, Mr. Chris Andretta, the number 25 with the DSR Whelen Modified Series. Forgive the NASCAR iRacing League down there. I don't know what that's about. Started first, currently finished first, led 128 laps. So definitely going to put himself up. He was 4th in points before this race, and I do believe this win is going to give him a huge bump. As congratulations to him for
Thank
all
you,
of
guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Mr. Chris Andretta doing a great job out there. Thank you for joining us in the broadcast booth. 128 of 128 laps led. How did you do it? I know a lot of it was your restarts. You had a heck of a restart.
The car was fire off good, and then I just found a little something on the upper groove there. Once you get going, you can get back to the gas a little quicker and keep the speed off the corner there and keep rolling.
Well, the longest green flag run was 21 laps, and you held every bit of it.
Yeah, the car was good. Just big thing was being consistent, smooth, every lap, and pace myself and not get too far out and try not to kill the tires. The tires seemed to stay on the car throughout the whole race, which is good because I could come on a restart and go get it back down into 1s or into its 2s and stay there for a few laps.
Well, you were fourth in points before this race, and now I do believe that's going to bump you up above Curtis Granger in that number 1 spot. You got another race coming up next week. Anything to look forward to with that?
I believe it's Stafford. And
Mm-hmm.
if it's Stafford, it's one of my favorite tracks. It's only a few hours from me here, and it's a cool little track. I usually run pretty well there when I run my league races or any of the open races, and it's an enjoyable track, and I'm looking forward to it next week.
Well, South Boston was good to you, and you've got Stafford next week. All-star race out there, no points. That's going to be 2 weeks from now, but still, congratulations, 128 laps led. That's a feat. I know that you were something to contend with. You only had a couple of guys that really challenged your bumper early on, and after that, you kind of drove away. Mr. Elrod, any questions for our race winner, the 25?
No, I don't have any questions for him. It looks like Corey just said in the Discord that might be an off week next week instead of the All-Star race.
Well, I know that Stafford's coming up, so if they've got, we'll keep you guys informed on what we're doing. So we'll see what happens, but we will see you guys on the next race. Congratulations once again, Mr. Andretta.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. See you guys next week.
Good
Yes.
race tonight, 25.
Thank you, guys. Have a good week. See you next week.
You too. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
Back to that right there, Mr. Lovett had something for everybody, and then Ruben Altice, that guy right there, we're going to pull him in because I enjoy talking with this guy. Mr. Ruben in the beautiful 15. Buddy, you were up and down the racetrack in between cautions, but you had a nice finish, at least finishing on the lead lap after that last big wreck. Tell us how your day went.
It was kind of a rough one there with all the wrecking going on, and then on the last restart, we had a lap car make it 3 wide coming to the green. I'm not sure really what he was thinking.
Well, we did see the incidents, and I know that you were wrapped up in a few of them, but a third place finish nonetheless, and you're always a consistent driver. I was telling my new in booth broadcaster, Mr. Elrod, right here, that you're a name that we are familiar with when it comes to working your way, either having to work your way to the front or being up front. So congratulations on the third place finish today.
I appreciate it a lot. Appreciate y'all broadcasting it. Appreciate Innovox Solutions for sponsoring it, and just Corey for putting on the league.
Absolutely. We're going to figure out what our schedule is going to be, but we'll see in the next race. Okay, Ruben?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Always. Mr. Ruben Altice right there. Great guy, doing great things. Jake Elrod, your first race in the Whelen Modified Series. How was it for you?
It was definitely different. I know anybody watching, I was definitely wasn't up to Jason's par tonight, but hopefully, just getting some experience back here can maybe help you in the long run. Down the road. I know you have big plans for a lot of different things. I know you got all these tournaments that you're planning and everything else, and any way I can help out.
Well,
Definitely my main goal.
Absolutely, having a fresh pair of eyes. For those who didn't know, the No Limit broadcast or the podcast came out last night. We were actually talking about the same thing, where having a second set of eyes is usually it's the biggest help that I could ever ask for. And I appreciate you jumping in here, and you'll get your feet wet, and we kind of just threw you into it, but you're gonna get a lot more practice at this, and you're gonna do just fine. You like watching the racing just like I do, so.
Yeah, it's actually it's actually very nice, being able to sit back and not actually have to drive. I mean, it's obviously it's fun to drive, and myself, I run in the three leagues that you also broadcast for, but it's definitely a lot. It's just a lot different being able to see this aspect of the whole the whole racing deal. So I definitely enjoyed it, and hopefully look forward to doing it again in the future.
Well, absolutely, and of course, always a big thank you to not just our second broadcaster, Mr. Money Jake Elrod. That is your new name. That's what's going to happen. But also to the headline sponsor for the DSR Whelen Modified Series, again, Innovox Solutions, the developer and distributor of superior oxidative disinfecting solutions for use in both the home and workplace. Remember that their goal is to provide products that quickly eliminate bacteria, viruses, mold, and mildew, odors, and allergens from environments that could be potential health threats without exposing users to harsh chemicals or harmful residues. Go to InnovoxSolutions.com to find out more about what they do, and they've got a lot of resources and some contact information right there. They've got a big old store that you can do. That's InnovoxSolutions.com, INNOVOX Solutions.com. This has been Jason and Jake, the two J's, right here with Signature Esports broadcasting for the DSR Whelen Modifieds from South Boston. 128 laps is what it took, and it took every single one of them for the 25 of Chris Andretta winning this race. I've got to always, in forthright, throw you this big old who won unofficial results. Your race winner, Chris Andretta. Matt Lovett came in second at number 14. Ruben Altice is third. George Jackson finished seventh, and the first three were the only three on the lead lap after that last big wreck. It took out pretty much the entire field. George Jackson finished fourth. Shane Corcoran, the number 43, finished fifth. 4 laps down after that. Eric Schaefer, that number 3 that was plowing through the field, came back out and finished sixth. The 2/17, Caden Tufts finished seventh. Corey Doss all the way down to ninth. Michael Newbrow finished 10th. And then we'll go back to our last 3 spots. Michael Newton finished 11th. Patrick Moore finished 12th. And Donald Wooten in that number 1 car finished in 13th. Mitchell Drunowski, appreciate you out there, my friend. Always doing great things with the race control. That is the man. He was the guy opted in for today. We appreciate you as always. And from all of us at Signature Esports, we thank Corey Doss for allowing us to continue to do this, and everybody. Jake is in the booth. I'm sorry, Yost, I didn't see you out there. Eric has come up from the rear. Absolutely. The paint sucks. Grr, I've got a lot of comments that I missed because they're just now catching up. So I appreciate everybody out there watching and doing it justice. You see the lady right there. Her head is on my screen. It's crazy. Jake, it's been a pleasure. We will see you in the next one.
Yep, I appreciate you having me tonight, Jason.
Absolutely. We thank you all ever so much. We will see you. Actually, we'll see you this weekend. We have our tournament we're going to be broadcasting. We're going to broadcast the finals. That's going to happen tomorrow evening for Signature Esports. So check that out on signatureesports.com or go to Signature Esports on Facebook or follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv/JLfollow. Hit that like, subscribe on YouTube as well under Signature Esports. The DSR Whelen Modified, they have a group out there. You have to apply to it, but make sure you get out there and do so you can watch all these broadcasts on Facebook. Share them out to all your friends and have some fun. We will see you tomorrow.